Hi guys, I'm Vishal Krishna, the founder and editor of the upstreamlife.com. I love talking about education, and I think it's about outcomes rather than the valuation. And I've got the founding CEO of Infinity Learn with me, Mr. Ujjwal Singh. He's going to tell you what Infinity Learn is all about. What does Infinity Learn try to solve?
Okay, thanks, Vishal. I think Infinity Learn is all about an outcome-based learning organization, an edtech, which is really focused on outcomes. The money which we charge from you, we ensure we deliver you the education which you want. Uh, you can check out our work. We largely work in JEE and NEET test prep, uh, but we also provide tuitions for grade 4 to 8, math and science. And we are really ensuring that we deliver on the promises we make.
So if you're a parent watching this, go check them out. Give them a try. They're on App Store.
Yeah,
right?
infinitylearn.com is our website, or InfinityLearn is the app name.
But please enjoy this podcast, because if you're a business person, you want to enjoy how he's built this business. And if you're an investor, check them out. They're much more than what the market tells you. There are a lot of numbers shared in this podcast, so you like them. Check out the podcast and write me questions. I can ask Ujjwal to answer them privately. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Ujjwal, thank you for being on my show. I mean, it's a pleasure to host Infinity Learn. You guys have achieved so much. 7 million, people access your learning for free, and about 10% of them pay for it. I mean, I would say that it's a great success for the last 3 years. Where did it all begin?
It all began with a base idea that how can an edtech, particularly digital learning, can impact learners. And because we come from the family of Sri Chaitanya Group, where outcomes has a huge value, we said, can we build an outcome-based edtech? And that's what was the original discussion, series of discussions to say that what will we do differently vis-a-vis everybody else so that we can generate a learner's life going up to success. And in this segment which we work, success means identifying a better college and getting into a better college. So we are in the test prep segment. I think that was the original idea, outcome-based learning. We worked hard, 7-8 of us, one single day, working out of co-working space, thinking that what will we do first? So in learning, we call a pedagogy called assessment for learning. When you go to a doctor, they take a test and then they prescribe your medicine. But most of the time in the education system, we first teach and then we do assessment. We said, let's take assessment first and learning second. And we started the journey from there. That's how we started.
Okay. They say EdTech you're a EdTech, test prep.
Yeah.
They say it's a red ocean, but you would disagree with that because learning is so vast and the aspirations. We can perhaps start with why learning is not a red ocean in India.
So one, EdTech is not red ocean. Very frankly, if you actually ask me, in last 3-4 years, the horizons are vast in like anything. I keep giving this example. Take a learner who could be a 10 to 12-year-old to a 50-year-old. At one side there's a library, the other side is just a small phone. And if he has to find the weight of earth, where will he go?
Yeah, so
We'll go to the phone.
Phone, absolutely. Smartphones are everything today.
Yeah. I think learning has moved to digital to a large extent for any convenience. Even 10 o'clock in the night, I'm solving a question, I'm unable to solve it. I have a doubt, how do I solve it? 5 o'clock in the morning, I want to just learn something new and I don't have anybody around me. I'll just do that. I think consumer behavior, the learner behavior has moved on from, and I'm not demeaning books, I'm saying that books are still making relevance when I am into a peer learning mode or with a teacher, but lot has moved on the digital side. So if edtech means digital learning, it's growing, it's thriving, it's doing very well. If edtech means 1 or 2 companies, their packages not selling, yeah, that's true. But trust me, there are very intelligent set of people sitting in various companies and they will find a way because the learner is moving faster than most of us. They are learning faster. Why do you think YouTube is thriving so much and people are going and learning from cooking to learning how to do finance trading to anything else? I think That's the crux. A lot of people are thinking edtech means one or two companies. I don't think so. Edtech is thriving. Edtech is blue ocean at this point of time. We need to learn how to teach the learner, how to make them intelligent on our platform, how to make our programs or products more suitable for them. I think that's the question
Amazingly
being answered.
said. The numbers are staggering. I was quoting Ratan Tata, who said we have to employ 150 million by 2030. So edtech will solve it. And you're right. I mean, we talked about aspiration, right? Parents want kids to get to a better college. And you were earlier telling me that the tea stall example, I thought, is something that you have to share with us. That is aspiration. And that's where if test preps can get kids to pass an exam, get into a good college, your job is done, right? At least from the primary, secondary level to going into higher education.
No, I'm on a India tour and just meeting our customers at various points. I want to tell you two very interesting stories. I was in Nagpur and we were generally talking to the team, and I said, "Who was the first customer in Nagpur?" They said, "Forget it. No, we're making you meet other people." I said, "Just tell me, who is the first customer in Nagpur I'm going to meet?" They said, "Sure, you want to?" I said, "Yeah." So they said, "Come along with us. We will not tell anybody." And we went to outskirts of Nagpur, and then we walked almost, getting on the car, around 10-12 minutes of walking. We reached to this house. This is 1-bedroom house with 1 kitchen, father, mother, and 3 daughters. Such a humble background. I spoke to the father. He earns 18,000 rupees and pays us 2,000 rupees as a EMI every month.
Okay.
He wants his elder daughter to be a doctor.
He gets only 18,000.
Only 18,000.
Okay, that's
almost 10% of his, and the kids go to government school. And I spent around 35-40 minutes in that house.
And they're bright kids, I'm sure.
That girl is so good because she is now on the platform for last 5 months. I was sitting with her checking that what do you do, what you like, what you don't like. I was so very damn impressed with that aspiration of that family, that if one of my daughters move upward and gets into a medical college, he thinks his family will move, and that's the true story. Every time we think, oh, he has cleared an IIT or AIMS or medical or engineer, it is not only the child, it is the whole family moves.
The economic strata of the family.
The family moves forward. I think that's what,
that's very emotional. That's a very Indian story. I think a lot of people don't realize that most of the people sell land.
Yeah.
They try to do all kinds of things to get children to school. Yeah. When I say school, college, pardon.
Preparing, go to college. The joke in our society is that in houses, not the child prepares for IIT or child never prepares for medical. The family prepares for it. The father will sacrifice the TV. Mother will ensure that all that whatever is required for that child. The younger siblings will be asked to keep quiet when she's studying. I think that's the emotion which plays on test prep. I was in Patna, outskirts of Patna. There is a place called Nabatpur. We went to a house, tea stall guy, and we just spent around 45-50 minutes in that house. Elder sister during COVID passed out, didn't do much. This kiddo is very silent kiddo. After a lot of discussion, he spoke a little. But the father and the sister spoke that he's really trying hard. He comes from a government school. For him to understand English or English, Hindi and English mixed is very, very critical. So we are ensuring that he gets a English content and not the English content. So all of those things play a huge role to say that how do you make aspiration of a family go from phase 1 to phase 2. And I'm sure that some of these kids, and we know a lot of kids who have qualified in past, but some of these kids come from such humble background, and once their life changes, I think things will be very, very different.
You're touching a very emotional chord. The subject itself, your group is the anchor for, the Chaitanya Group is the anchor for Infinity Learn. And we briefly spoke about the early days of setting it up, the early hypothesis of, changing that aspiration to some outcome, right? And now I know why it's not a red ocean, because there's so many aspirations out there, and not 1 or 2 companies can solve it. All of you can. Okay, to make that work, you needed a few things, right? You came from a world of education and publishing. You came from Pearson. When you, from your global role, came into a role in India, what are some of the asks that you said that, look, if I do this, or if you do it with the group, how do we do this differently from others, and talk about technology, talk about team, talk about the early difficulties. People would have said, why are you making this this career move? There's so many people have come to edtech and have burned their fingers.
Sure.
How did you manage all that? It's a long question, many parts to it.
True.
Technology,
I
team,
see.
managing family,
Yeah.
family business, Chaitanya Group, right? So let me know.
I think before I go and answer that,
Please.
I'll give you one small quote.
Please.
A guy called Tom Chi, who was reported to Larry in Google once. He was doing a session for us and he said, innovation never happens in core. It happens in supplementary, and supplementary becomes new core.
That is so true. I agree.
So I went on delving into this statement, and then I went to him and said, give me a small example because I'm still struggling with this. So he said, look at taxi industry. Cab is the core of that industry. Now you can make a better cab, you can give newspapers and water and whatever, or clean cabs, but cab is cab. So you can't do beyond a point innovation in cab. But there are two supplementaries. Booking a cab or paying money. And these two usually are 15-second to 30-second things. If you change this, so if you do an innovation in supplementary will become a new core, and see today how taxi industry got changed. I lived with this statement in 2019 onwards and said, how do you build innovation? So I was in Pearson also.
Yeah,
doing
because you're heading the digital side.
Digital side of it. So when I came back and took this role, one of the first thing was that digital platform has to produce results. If it does not, then it does not serve the end purpose.
Yeah.
So first thing is that don't try to say that tomorrow morning the classroom has to change, everything has to change. The first thing is that what is supplementary in the education system, and why? How do we change that to make it far more robust, and then see that how can it become a new core?
Do you want to explain that?
So like assessment is that after the learning, assessment was secondary or supplementary in the whole education system. We took assessment as the first thing and said go deep down. And I'm so envious of pharma industry because I think they just take a drop of blood and tell everything about the human body. Yeah. And then the doctors can advise you the best medicine. We took hundreds of tests, still don't understand human beings so well. So we said, unless we solve the problem here and take an assessment, let the learner know which question you took more seconds, why did you make this kind of mistake. So we actually took that supplementary and really worked hard to make assessment as a science.
Okay.
Yeah. And then slowly and gradually we embedded assessment and learning so nicely so that when the child is giving assessment and learning is just going hand in gloves.
Okay.
So that was the first thing, and to do so we needed a great technology. So my second recruitment, my first recruitment was a strategy guy, but my second recruitment was a guy called Shiva. He's a technology head, engineering head, and he's with us in this journey.
That was very important for you. You said tech will solve it, not people.
Yeah. So first is, if you're in edtech, we understood education so well. What we wanted a good quality tech. So we built a great tech team. The first opportunity, I was in US April this year, and I saw how AI has impacted the overall education system. I said, we don't want to call, I'm a best AI system. The AI has to work. The learner should not know how the AI is enabling his learning. I think that's the mix of technology. If a child is actually facing a technology in front of him, he won't enjoy it. But if we understand the learner better, help him in this journey, that will be amazing. So we saw how an AI can make a child's one single day in his learning life better. What are the touch points?
The typical touch point is what? Math problems, science problems, assessment of those. Because they would have learned that in school and they would have come to assess themselves at the
Problem
platform,
solving
right?
is one piece of it. But look at it. Morning, there are three pieces. So governance has a huge piece which AI can solve. Today there is a 7 o'clock notification that you have a 10 o'clock examination about this topic today. That's a great governance. Parents may not know what is happening inside the school, but great governance for the learner. Do you want to actually revise this again? So a mentorship inside the system which tells you today's this examination, just look at these three things while you go. Imagine you went and you took the examination, summative examination. You come back and scan, saying that how much is this question, how good I have done it. And it says this is 2 out of 3. These are the 3 things which you did not write.
Oh, it prepares you.
It prepares you. So I think then you come back and say, what you said, doubt solving. So am I struggling in math? So evening you can do that after the school. It has to make sense for us in overall solution. In AI we call it point solutions and system solutions.
Yes.
So I think most of us, we're looking at AI as a point solution. I will do a doubt and I'll solve the doubt. I think after what is happening in US, how OpenAI is working, how some of us got the edge.
It's more intuitive now.
More intuitive. All of us have started thinking system solution, saying that can a learner's life be a little better? And can it impact the teacher? So if I know that how my learners have done yesterday, can I my lesson plan tomorrow morning change while I'm teaching inside the class?
So it has to be inclusive of teachers also in this case?
Has to be. Because any teaching learning process is, inadequate if it is only serving one part of the overall learning process. So teachers also should get certain insights about learners' behavior, what they are doing, how they are performing, and then come back at a teacher level to say, if you make these small changes, your learners will understand.
Okay.
I think that's a part of the...
It's interesting. One strategy guy, one tech guy to solve this very thing. You guys must have met many students and teachers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because of Chaitanya, we had
you got access to people.
Access to lot of students. And I think we are blessed that way. That while every other new edtech will take time to meet learners, go and talk to customers, we were every day inside the school systems to say that one of the great learning in Pearson, everybody said bite-sized learning is amazing.
That was going on forever, right? This has been around for 13, 14 years. Bite-sized learning has been there.
And I went to Inside Chaitanya and I showed a 3-minute video and this learner says,
no, why?
He said,
it's too, because there's no interaction, there's no intuition, yes.
So we made a 15-minute video. They liked it, but they said, can you give me 1-hour video at one shot? I'll like to finish the whole chapter. And we build that as well, and we see a huge consumption of that content, 15-minute content and 1-hour content, just before the examination, just before while they're revising for a topic, subtopic. I think we would not have got these insights if we were not so close to the learners.
Okay.
So every time we were going to learners and saying, you're doing this. So while this whole AI work which we're doing, we have almost 9 cities we are piloting. Just going to learners and showing, do you think this will work?
So it's a combination of visual and obviously numerical kind of design aspects. Is that how you do teachers record the course, or how does the assessment work?
No, the assessment works largely as per the pattern examination.
Okay.
But teachers do record the course because they teach the best. They are the best teachers over the last 25 years who work with us.
So that's another piece you have to solve. You have to get these good teachers to come
and record. And some of them are so comfortable inside the classroom vis-a-vis in front of the camera. So we make them comfortable. I said, wherever you love to teach, you teach and we will record and then we will clean it up accordingly.
It's interesting.
But I think what we do initially is that we build small prototypes, we go to show to teachers, we go to show to students, we take feedback, come back. So it's a very iterative process on which we develop the whole technology platform. So the third part of your question was that how did all of this
come together?
I think when my first discussion, we just lost our founder, Dr. Rao, amazing guy. How he started.
Celebrated personality,
a very celebrated personality. I think he told me a line. Ujjwal, whatever happens, you lose money, I have no problem. But you lose my name, I have a huge problem. So one thing just do right is that whatever is the end goal, meet that goal. And I just don't forget that line.
And the end goal was the outcome. Are you getting into a good college?
Yes. So end goal is that the learner, wherever he is, have you helped him move in the needle? Has he gone up? Not everybody is aspiring for an IIT. But what he's saying is that if he came at, say, entry marks is 36, after a year, have you taken him to 50, 55, 60?
That's an outcome itself.
That's the outcome itself. You're taking him to path of progress. His confidence grows every day. So I think That's how
you built this company. Then.
That's how we built this company. We are not in a hurry to make it a very big company tomorrow morning. We are saying, let's put the right ethos of the company. I think after Dr. Rao, Sushma largely takes care of academics, and she is amazing to say that how do we build the academic rigor? How do we ensure that we take care of, if parents are paying us, we need to give them back what they're paying us for. I think
this is so interesting. I mean, you're talking about it with such emotion. I can see the fact that you're completely bought into this. And talk about that journey, from say 10 students to 100 to say 750,000, 750,000. How did you manage that? And that must be really, as a founding CEO, you must be very happy of this outcome. Talk about the journey of those pieces and the struggles.
Oh, I must tell you, initial phase every day. This was June 2021.
Because we briefly met at that point of time, and you were just starting out.
Absolutely.
And I think I don't know how much you'd reached at that time, but you were saying that
we're just building the product and launching it. We had launched the product June, and around we were doing some small testing of assessments and all that. And then sometime in August, somebody paid us 40,000 rupees. And this is like first course launched publicly.
Math, is it? Is that a math course?
No, this is a crash course for JEE.
Okay. JEE and NEET. JEE, okay, correct.
So, engineering preparation, medical preparation. And we said, who is this person? So we call that person, and then we try to check what are you paying. So I actually been a student myself from Chaitanya, and I'm now buying this for one of my family members, and that's why we thought it'll be a good course because we physically can't. And that was so much excitement on day, say 20th of our launch. And we said, okay, fine. Now we have the first customer. And initial phase, every time a customer will pay, we'll call the customer, find out his aspirations, what does he want. We continued this till end of 2021. And then slowly and gradually, number of customers started growing. Till date, sometimes I go and sit in the call center just to find out in the onboarding side when somebody has bought and who is the customer, why he's paying, the kids, father, mother. So I think, so first 6 months, we were just selling crash courses, test preps. But January, February onwards, we started selling full year courses for the next year. We were 8-member team, then we became 40-member team, and then we 100-member team. Today we are almost 1,500 people company.
That means there's massive selling going.
Massive.
Because people are discovering the product.
People are discovering product. No, we don't have a huge sales team per se that way. We have a very good tech team.
Okay.
We have tried.
You should talk about it. I'm glad you brought that in. That means you're a product business.
We are a product company. We are not a hardcore sales company. We have amazing tech team. Our CTO comes from Freshworks, Microsoft background. Amazing, passionate guy. His wife runs a school. So that.
So they come with the passion of learning.
Passion of learning. I think the product guy himself is from IIT Kanpur, and he was working with Paytm, and he chose to come back to edtech and said, how can I contribute? I think 120 odd members on product tech, and we are every day solving a problem. The whole culture of the organization is, are we solving problem? If we're not solving problem, then we are not doing enough.
Okay, and you don't advertise much as well. I mean, you called it out earlier too. It's just grown naturally. So of this 1,500 people, do you have people going into different schools? Let's not say colleges. Let's say schools only. Obviously now, do they go to parents? Do they meet them? Is that the reason you have such a large team?
So we work with schools.
I'm just talking about the B2B, right? It's a business. It's a B2B business.
B2B business,
right?
So we do B2B2C. Means we go and do an events in schools, and then we all the parents who are interested, they come, and then we talk to them, and they buy our courses. That's one. Yes, we haven't done a lot of digital marketing.
Yes,
our marketing cost is very, very low vis-a-vis the competition benchmarking. Also, we acquired a YouTube channel. Maybe it was one of the early acquisitions in education industry, and YouTube channel called Don't Memorize. So amazing, again, passionate founder called Ganesh. He came on board. So we got 3 million learners on his platform.
Right.
And slowly and gradually now we have a big YouTube channel through which also there's a lot of acquisition. So I think the schools, the B2B2C.
So that's a very nice funnel. You have to explain that.
Yeah.
The B2B2C, there's that YouTube channel, there's your channel. How do you create that funnel of marketing where it becomes self-prophesizing, where people spread the good word and other parents to sign up? Is that how it grew?
So we did 3 things. So one, going to schools, conducting examinations, educating parents in the parent-teacher orientations, and then slowly and gradually, and because maybe I came from B2B business mainly, so I understood how to work with schools, so we started there. So we work with a lot of schools overall in the market size. Then this YouTube channel, which helped us to make us aware about the northern part of the market. So Chaitanya, because of Chaitanya, the southern part of the market is very, very well known to us. But in the north, the YouTube channel helped us. In the west, the YouTube channel helped us. While we were talking about the 7 million free courses which we were talking about, this there are a lot of people who are searching for good content. So we started this project called Project Search, where a lot of students actually came and they found our answers better than a lot of other people, and they actually came to the platform after that. So there's an organic traffic which moved in. So today, almost 90% of the people who buy things from us are from organic channels.
Okay.
So all the 3 strategies really worked very well for us. We have made our share of mistakes on.
Which startup does not? You tell me.
I remember.
Major was what? Tech mistakes or more people
marketing
mistakes?
Marketing mistakes. I keep telling, it was one of the costliest mistakes we made, that one of the India-Pakistan matches, we said we will advertise there, and then
who wouldn't want to? Because so many people watch it.
But nobody could see.
So the sign-up rates, right? Obviously, because that's a learning.
That's a big learning, that company of our size is too early to advertise at that level until it's
Which is great learning for a CEO like you, because a lot of the startups make that mistake, right? They don't realize the ROI.
Yeah, they don't realize, and then we said no. When we will grow and when we will be in that size, we'll definitely leak. Then we will do it. But today we need to be frugal. We need to do things which can help us generate business. So I think that's a very great set of learnings also on the marketing side we got.
Ujjwal, you're talking about these marketing mistakes and I'm fascinated. See, I'm a startup, 2 years, and we're always thinking, how much should I put in? Where should I put in? There's digital marketing, there's TV advertising, then, there is something people come and say, can you do lead generation? I want my brand to grow. But how does it work in the edtech space in terms of advertising? A lot of people burn money, and there's so much news out there saying that, startups have lost so much money, and suddenly how come investors are now asking questions? From Infinity Learn's perspective, how do you think about the market out there in terms of advertising? What can founders learn? Advertising and marketing.
So, while we had made that one mistake of India-Pakistan match advertising, which was invisible to actually everybody, because of this very small sum of money we went with, a small sum of money was 50 lakhs.
Oh, that's quite large. That's like a seed fund for people like me.
And then almost nobody saw that. And then for next 3-4 months, we had literally no money to go for any large scale advertisement or public view. And then we sat together and said, what is that? What we need to do? Because we have made this mistake. It's a money from a actually channel's point of view. You are a very small guy, but for us it was a big money. And then I met a founder of an edtech company, and the company was just shutting down.
That's the story, man, of everyone today. Sad.
So I said 3 mistakes which you made, which you advised me not to make.
Oh, you said that?
I asked him this question. We became friends in this whole journey discussion. And he says financial prudence has a huge value. I never had a CFO with me. So if you want, a CFO will be, or a head of finance is a very important function to have very close to the CEO. The second thing which he said to me, and I was like, oh, wow. He said they advertised in IPL.
Yeah, it's a costly animal.
It's a very costly animal. And then he said, and I could not generate anything out of it. Now, this could be bad.
He's an edtech guy telling
He's
you
an
this.
edtech guy, and raised a few rounds and then shut down almost a year back. And that stayed back with me, saying that how much money do you need for every household for you to know? See, the problem which we are trying to solve, we are a test prep company. Not that every household will have a 16-year-old or 15-year-old preparing for JEE or NEET. True. So why every household should know me? I have to be far more targeted. If I'm a whole K-12, then I need to be little more widespread. But still, every household in India, if they don't know me, is not a problem, at least at this point of time. Slowly and gradually, once we grow, we have the affordability, we will definitely like people to know. But liking has a less value from a business point of view.
Correct.
So I think we have made a few mistakes after that. Also, once we had an amazing results and we said, can we just go ahead and advertise it in newspaper in one city and see what? Full page, front page, 7 calls.
Wow.
And few lakhs. So we have made our share of mistakes, but we realize is that how do we make the best outcomes out of the advertisement or brand cost?
Building, yes.
Is to be near to the customer, focused, targeted, rather than trying to just be all over the place.
Because you're right, when you do a newspaper or TV, it's brand building, does not necessarily ROI, correct?
ROI.
It's interesting, right? But the FMCG world has been advertising always. Their products they do, but in edtech it doesn't really work.
And that's what is that. We are not FMCG. We don't have products for every household.
Absolutely.
So why don't you search for the households and go segmented? And there's a ways available to do that. People will look for you if you have a good content, and content is still the king.
Okay.
So I think that's the better way when people are searching for us.
So you had on hindsight, there were a lot of mistakes that you saw people make and learned from that, and you made prudence out of it. So you said good CFO.
Yeah.
What are the what are the advice for marketing, please? I want to know, do you say that put money in digital marketing, understand, work with, like you said, you acquired a YouTube channel, work with people like that. Is that the best outcome at this point of time?
Yeah. So go where the learners are.
Go where your
Target
segment is. Yes.
And don't go and paint the city red. It doesn't help. For particularly company of our size. Now, if somebody is sitting on $1 billion, will not like this advice. But I would say that maybe I will make the same set of mistakes when we will have $1 billion in our bank account.
It's interesting, right? The $1 billion guys are now running out of money.
Yeah,
that's true, right?
That's very true. But that they have a different set of problems.
Yes.
Our companies of our size have a different set of problems. I'll have to go to the learners. I'll try to go directly there rather than any via media.
Yes.
Whether it's a digital marketing with the giants or we go through newspapers or TV. We think going directly or they searching for us is one of the best conversion ratios.
The other narrative is, say that the example of the parent who was earning 18,000 rupees earlier in the show, that has more outcome and value than saying, I'll acquire that guy. Or acquire that parent. The narrative is different, right? You're saying now I'll handhold you through that stage. I'll get your child to be ready for something, rather than saying come on board and then say okay, we're done, forget about it.
So that's what we keep saying among ourselves, that what does outcome focused company means is that if you're taking money from somebody, you own the responsibility of delivering that. I think till the time we all in edtech take the responsibility of delivering for what we are taking money for, this problem will remain.
Okay. And the interesting thing that you're doing, and obviously when this podcast comes out, that announcement will be done and be available. You are going out and announcing results when you don't have to as a private entity, which is very rare for a private company to go announce results. Why take that step? It's great PR, but why do it?
I personally think our results are good. First.
Okay.
Definitely we will like to talk about this. But more than that, people are thinking that, edtech is not doing good, everybody is not doing good. No, there are lots of good companies who are of our size, maybe bigger than our size or smaller than our size, are doing good. They're doing good job. They're generating decent revenue. They're actually break even or profitable. And we are not talking about these. We are only saying that what is going wrong in the industry. I think that's the reason we said, if you have a good results, if you're doing good, In 2 years' time, we have built this business. Why not to go and talk about this?
Yes, why not? And I'm assuming that you've crossed 100 crores and you've got a target to go much
500
larger,
crores,
right?
yeah.
By 2027.
2025.
2025, that's quick. That means the market is there. People understand the product. People like the product. I want to quickly take your thoughts on this. You're going to do the results, great. How is edtech changing? Like you said, it's not a red ocean. Parents will use the blended model. You said two things earlier, library versus phone. People will use phone.
Yeah.
But do you see something blending today? I mean, do you see people, a lot of parents send their kids to tuition centers. Fair enough. Then there's books and libraries, then there's coursework, and then there's digital. Do you see a one stack? Do you see yourself bringing all this together and saying, look, you need to move the needle. It doesn't matter where you go. Can you do that with tech?
Yeah. So one, I think all of these will coexist.
They will coexist,
They
right?
all coexist. It is not that one versus the other. The learner is trying to learn something in this.
So that shouldn't be forgotten.
That shouldn't be forgotten. Now, whether he is learning through books when he is inside the school, or he is learning digital or in physical ambience
Yes.
when he is outside the school, one of the statement is, why should learning stop at 2 p.m.? So if you're going to school and then after 2 p.m., why should the learning stop? How does the 2 p.m. extends to 10 p.m. and how can we handhold the learner even till he sleeps? I think that's the journey for a learner's point of view. All of this will coexist. But one of the things, as we are talking to digital natives now, is that they will seek information, they will find knowledge on digital platforms much more faster and more number of times than any other environment. But that doesn't mean that teacher is going away. That doesn't mean the physical environment is going away. We are ourselves experimenting to say that we open centers and say that let the learner come 2 days in the center and maybe 2 or 3 days at home. We're doing all sorts of things. See, we are very early stage. I think the whole industry is early stage to say how blended learning or hybrid learning will grow. All of us are trying to see the delivery piece.
Yes.
Having an online platform, having an offline center is well known.
Yes.
But that is not hybrid. Hybrid is that if I am studying in a center, can I go back to the online
And
learning
revise.
revise and come back with doubts or set of things, services to be delivered in an offline center? I think these experiments in next few years will actually make it much more robust.
And teaching is a thing that's not going to go away, right? Is it the best time to employ teachers?
I think teaching will always remain. Only thing which we keep talking about it is that there's a statement which you say, "Bachcha sikha ki nahi." So I taught something is not the ownership. The children learn that is the ownership of the teaching point of view. I think that is the crux of our work. That bachcha sikha ki nahi. If the child has learned, every teaching has been completed. Teachers are going to stay here. They are the most valuable assets for any education system. But the form of teacher is going to change, because earlier you needed a decent qualification to be a teacher. Today, somebody can teach me just calculus, maybe from IIT and not a teacher. And
Very interesting.
maybe
That's
my
great.
Didi next door can teach me algebra, and she may not be a qualified teacher as well. I think the form of teacher is changing. Somebody who has retired from a government job could be a teacher.
It's so you're repurposing everyone to many things now. So they can take. You're so right. The Didi next door can teach algebra. Somebody from IIT can now come into platform and say, "I'll teach calculus."
And you get the best of both. So there's a qualified teacher who is building perspective. He has been teaching for such a long time. But somebody who was a learner, and that's why we sometimes use J. Krishnamurti use this word a lot, called educator learner.
Yes.
So teacher who is also a learner, and learner educator, or learner who is also an educator. I think the new age society, that gap between educator learner slowly and gradually merging. Some of these students are so good in technology that they educate the teachers, but some of these educators are always a learner.
So positive tailwinds all the way from primary and secondary education, all the way to higher learning, right? This is fantastic. I want to bring the elephant in the room. We talked about marketing earlier, the digital marketing and all. Now I want to talk about the other elephant, which is AI.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it, but I see it impacting a lot of lives. Do you see yourself using ChatGPT? That's a term that everyone's using.
Yeah.
or any form of intuitive learning where today you can ask questions and it can personalize it for you. Is that the future? Is it here to stay, or would you say that that will replace teachers? A lot of teachers now say, hey man, will that replace me? But do you see it being blended again?
100% blended. I
Okay.
don't think that's
Okay.
going to take away teaching as a job.
Okay.
We use a lot.
Okay.
And reason to use it, because I think the speed on which the learner needs the help, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night, I think particularly in the test prep segment, is a big help.
Okay.
Because you don't have teachers every moment for you to answer a question. Whether we use LLMs, large language models, or ChatGPT, or anything for that matter. But what we are trying to do is called vertical AI.
Yes.
Vertical AI means for education in AI. So the present way the AI is built is not built from education perspective. I will
Correct.
give you an example. So if 5 of us sit
Yes.
and ask a question to ChatGPT, we might get 5 different answers.
Okay.
Because it generates an answer. But in education system, that won't work.
It has to be standardized, you're saying?
Standardized.
Okay.
So if I'm asking a question, and we are trying to do a JE level question also. So we are doing multiple pilots we are running, because in education also you can't teach a student something wrong. So we need to be really careful that when we build it, so we call it Vista.
You're calling it Vista?
Yeah, so virtual intelligence system for tailored academics. The way I want to learn, so it is tailored to suit me, but it's an intelligent system. So, and this is a vertical AI for education. I think next 2 months you will hear a lot. We are talking about.
So it's specialized about trigonometry and all that. Will have this. I can ask a trigonometry question, a calculus question, and it'll simplify it.
So a lot of image-based question is still a problem, but a lot of text-based questions, even for math, it has started answering it right. Our accuracy rate at this point of time is 98%.
How robust is Vista for you? You're testing it every day on many students and teachers.
So we are. I think we are last 4 months we had started testing it. We will do. So presently we are testing it almost on 10,000 students. I think we will slowly roll out, but in next few months we will be full-fledged out for.
For you, the problem is so beautiful, right? Now, Vista itself, I see as another product.
True.
Do you see that happen? Do you think it can become a product of sorts?
So I don't think
powerful technology.
It's a powerful technology, but from a learner's point of view, no, it should not be
complicated
or technology. He has to learn on the platform. He comes early morning and he
again
says,
to your point, don't forget the outcome.
Don't forget the outcome. It is all for the learner's outcome. It is technology is for us, for the tech team, the excitement, how are we solving the question. But for the learner, it is one more simple way for you to remind me that today I have an exam, or you to tell me that I can read this, or solve a question when I come and ask.
Okay. Ujjwal, you're part of the Chaitanya Group again. They're the anchor for Infinity Learn, obviously. How important was their support for you to take this to 7 million learners today?
I think without them, this journey is not possible. I've got amazing support from the group, not only from the family, but a lot of professionals who work there, and huge wisdom. Wisdom comes from all the teachers who are there, the students whom we have worked with, their alum pass outs. I think I'm blessed that way, that building a edtech of this size
nature, of this
and
nature,
this nature is not possible without a great backing from them.
The thing is, they've already built an institution, so you don't have the baggage of like the startups do, right? Everything, right? You had everything to take the best from, especially the data sets of students and teachers. That must have helped you
a lot. So being so near to students is the biggest blessing.
Yes.
But their performance. So if somebody has cleared IIT in top 10 rank, in last 2 years, how has he done? That marks feeding into the AI system, and for us to slowly and gradually customize it. I don't think that data is available with most of the other
which you do, right? You want to call out those numbers?
Yeah. No,
how many people names, how many people in JE NEET?
So from a larger Chaitanya Group's point of view, today almost 25% students are in IIT are from Sri Chaitanya. Almost 18 to 20% students in AIMS come from Sri Chaitanya Group. I think these numbers makes a huge difference because they have been producing toppers and the students who are qualifying for
Probably future CTOs, doctors.
future CTOs and best doctors and or good citizens at the end of the day. I think that learning for us to imbibe on the digital platform, that pedagogical understanding and imbibing on the digital platform.
You came from that route and not the technology side.
Not the technology
I got it
side.
now. Okay, your time in publishing, you were there. You could have been abroad anywhere you wanted. When you made this move, did you even think you'd have reached this level? On what hunch did you make this decision that I'm going to stay, I'm going to come back to India and build this? How difficult a decision was that? Because we all know the group.
Yeah.
It's popular in the South.
True.
But why take that big decision from the publishing house abroad to here?
Very frankly, my heart lies in India. I'm a little desi guy. I come from a family which runs a school near Varanasi. There's a place called Paria. My parents were here. All my family, a larger family is here. And deep inside, I wanted to do something for last 6-7 years before I took on this. I was working on various geographies, multiple markets. I had the deep desire to go and impact something in India.
Okay.
And I was so lucky within Pearson. I'm one of those luckiest one. I've seen schooling systems. You won't believe the kind of countries from Panama cities to Mexico, Brazil, China, South Africa.
I think when you look at India, it's so much in a better place today compared to those countries, no?
True. And when I go to schools in those countries vis-a-vis what we are trying to do, I think we are thriving. We are actually a
we are
vibrant,
aspiring, yes.
We're aspiring. Our children are doing far more. And I see aspirations in these tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 town is much, much higher than maybe sometimes in tier 1.
And I sometimes see the number of CEOs who are moving to global companies from India. That is phenomenal, right?
Phenomenal.
I've never seen that. No. And I think it's leaders like you are coming back and enabling us to become like that. That's fantastic. And kudos to you, for taking that decision to come back. Did you have I can't let you go that easily. What was your favorite moment in the last 3 years at Infinity Learn? Was it talking to parents or was it building the tech team? Or was it combining the two?
For me, my heart lies in talking to the children and the parent, how we are impacting. Even if they are not very happy, I like to find out why they are not happy. If they are happy, what is bringing that happiness. Even I'm very proud of our technology team, but I think in edtech, ed comes first. Education enabled with technology. So technology is enabling education. So, and education is for the learner. So all of us are dedicated towards that learner. I think that doesn't go away from our mind any day.
Brilliant. Ujjwal, what do you get inspired by? You've had a long illustrious career. Books, movies that inspired you or even people?
So I think books have inspired me a lot. So
you read a lot?
I read a lot.
Any particular Hindi or English that you'd recommend?
I read, but I love Malcolm Gladwell a lot.
Okay.
His
very good books, yes.
Very good books. But one of his old books I had bought some time back, I was reading it maybe a month back, talking to strangers. That built a huge perspective about how society...
I've read that book. It's amazing.
So it's perspectives about the society, our thinking process, how we get biased, unconscious biasness. I think, so it is not only about management. I just think human beings have always been the most interesting aspects for us to understand because we work with teams. I think Jim Collins' Good to Great is one of the best
books. A
books.
lot of people recommend that. I haven't read it, but why would a lot of CEOs read that book?
So one is behavioral traits, a company which has done very well. And in one of the sessions which we were having, there was a huge debate and discussion because he says people first. I said, if I'm building a rocket, why people first? And this was a debate internally, and he did a session in Pearson for a lot of us. I think he has understood
the value of the customer,
value of the people around you.
The team.
The team, and he has gone ahead and explained that whatever you're doing, if you have the right team, you can achieve that.
This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal.
Why I'm so proud about this? Because in our leadership, in last 24 months, we have approximately 23 people. We have just lost one guy, but
in the leadership,
co-leadership team of Infinity Learn, we have amazing success on that side.
No, I think this is amazing. Like I said, the numbers speak for itself, guys. 750,000 paid customers and 7 million free access customers. Now, all the best to you. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Really appreciate for you to invite us today. And
no, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And check out their app, is it? They can go check out your app.
Infinity Learn.
And the website is?
infinitylearn.com.
There you go. Thank you, guys.